Hello everyone, my name is Simran Kaur. Today I will discuss on the topic the prevalence and the characterization of the E. coli isolated from the upper Okene watershed in the northeast Georgia. As we all know that surface water is essential for drinking, agriculture and industrial purposes. Hence, contaminated water by fecal, pathogenic and antimicrobial resistance bacteria is a major environmental and public health concern. Generally, zoonotic bacterial pathogens like Listeriosis, E. coli, Salmonellosis have been responsible for the waterborne illness in human through the contaminated water, not only in developing countries but also in the industrial sector. Well, the main goal of this investigation is to determine the presence of E. coli in the upper Okene watershed and potential risks that arise from the E. coli sample. Well, as all we know that E. coli is the gram-negative bacteria normally arises in the intestinal flora of the warm-blooded animal and usually considered as a fecal contaminated indicator. Although most E. coli strains are harmless, however, some strains cause serious illness such as bloody diarrhea, urinary tract infection, blood fever, abdominal pain, so on, which may cause to death. In this slide, that is the material and method, describes the allocation and amount of the sample used for the experiment. Like for this sampling, approximately 600 kilometers square area was covered, and the area mainly consists of agricultural, rural or sub-rural area. Like for the enumeration of the E. coli, 1 liter water sample were collected and stored at 4 degrees Celsius until the processing of the next day. In this slide, that is the identification of the E. coli, we'll discuss the two methods to identify the presence of E. coli. The first method is the Petri plate method and second is the filtration method. In this filtration method is used to enumerate the E. coli. For this technique, two Petri plates were used. In each Petri plate, 1 ml of the water sample is added and plates were incubated at 37 degrees Celsius for 18 to 20 hours. Make sure while preparing the sample there should be no air bubble. After incubation, the colonies were formed and number of colonies were counted after 24 hours by using CFU 100 per ml formula. Now next step is the filtration of the water sample. For the water sample, 0.5 gram of the filtered cellulose powder were added to the water sample, then allowed to filtrate onto the 47 mm of the glass fiber filter. And the pore size of the filter glass is zero point 0.3 millimeter. This fiberglass were already enriched with cellular powder and allow it to incubate at 37 degrees Celsius for 18 to 20 hours. Make sure that filter media were incubated in 25 ml of the buffer peptone. Well, after the identification of the E. coli, now it's turn to isolate the E. coli strain. For this test, they are divided into two parts. First is the presumptive test, and second one is the confirmation test. The previously stored sample was streaked on the CHROM and ECC agar and allowed to incubate at 37 degrees Celsius in sterile conditions. After incubation, positive plates that contain typically E. coli were selected and allow for the confirmation test. In the confirmation test, the isolated colonies that conformed with the help of the colorimetric identification card. After the identification, the remaining all bacterial strain were kept in the LB tubes and that contained 30% glycerol and stored at -30 degrees Celsius for further use. Finally, antimicrobial susceptibility test was done in the lab. For that, it is used to determine the antimicrobial activity that inhibits the growth of the bacteria or fungi causing a specific infection. Well, the results obtained from this test is beneficial for the healthcare to determine which drugs are likely to be most effective in the treating a person's infection. After performing this test, 14 different antimicrobial E. coli were identified and classified into three parts, that is resistant and intermediate and susceptible. For the further analysis, there are two different control strains were used. That is, first one is the E. coli ATCC25922 and second one is the Staphylococcus aureus, that is ATCC29213. The final table was obtained after performing different experiments. In table 1 shows the number of E. coli positive sample sites as well as the number of isolated colonies collected from those sites. E. coli was found in 99.3% of the total sample area, with the recovery ratio ranging from 96.7 out of 100 from each sample. Despite the fact that just one colony was chosen for the positive plate and a great number of isolates were obtained. In order to examine the accurate result, different kind of medias were used for the testings. Well, the results of this investigation revealed that E. coli is abundant in the upper Okine watershed and have more chance of the fecal contamination. While the existence of the pathogenic, that is AR E. coli in the watershed suggested that it can be cause serious illness to the human and can be transmitted to human by drinking or recreational activities. And it is also found that E. coli count were found to be significantly higher in the urban stream as compared to the rural stream.